Welcome into Charger Stadium on the campus of Corner Canyon High School for the first ever Corner Canyon Challenge. Is Dusty Lister, Dane Stewart of Game Night Live Rewind with the game 2 of 3. And our last game of the day is Charger TV will have the final one, Corner Canyon versus East, but it's Kearns versus Timpview. And Dane, we did our videos. This was a game where it's going to be very interesting. If this game was 10 years ago, we wouldn't think it was as interesting. But this is going to be a very intriguing matchup.
It really is. Two different styles, two teams that had a lot of learning in week 1. Timpview coming off a 44-31 loss, but it was Leo Amavai who played really well, threw for 470 yards in that game, had 4 touchdowns. But, does that translate here on a rather blistery day in Draper, Utah? And meanwhile, you've got the running attack of Kearns. And, you look at Toyavau, Leha, this duo rushed for almost 300 yards themselves last week, and then Toyavau threw for 150. So, there's a lot of options offensively for Kearns, and they're waiting for that moment to say, hey, we are Kearns football. We're here to compete with the best, and that's what they're going to try to take advantage of this opportunity here this afternoon.
They didn't want it to, but the kick goes into the end zone from Benyon Glade, and Timpview will bring it out to the 20-yard line. Our chance to see the Timpview offense. Dane had them last week against Lone Peak, and as you mentioned, Leo Amavai. Last time we saw him in the state tournament was not his best performance. But last week, as you mentioned, threw for over 400 yards, and he has an outstanding receiver in Pokai Haunga, who was our Mount West Elite Performer of the Week. As we're going to start on the ground first with Mackay Beckstead. And Beckstead across the 25 to the 26, and it'll be 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, I like starting on the ground. One of the questions I had for Coach Stokes was, with this wind, do you see throwing it a lot? And he's like, we're going to do what they tell us, what they give us. And so they start on the ground, and a good gain.
And back to Beckstead on 2nd down, and he has a 1st down to the 31-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, T-Birds.
And this is what we did not see last week against Lone Peak. They came out, and he said, look, they load the box. So we had to beat them through the air. And I love that they're coming out on the ground here to start.
That ball was thrown forward, trying to catch it really quickly, and Haunga couldn't handle it, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Haunga had a pedestrian game last week, just 16 catches, 255 yards with 4 touchdowns. So, he was clearly the favorite target, had a big game, and watch for him here today.
Would really like him to shine today.
Yeah, he would like a nice bounce back from that.
So 2nd and 10.
We have to be careful. We're saying that sarcastically.
Completely sarcastically.
He had, I'm going to say it, the early candidate for catch of the year.
Oh, that one above 2 defenders?
Yeah,
that was awesome. And, Jake Hatch said that, hey, early in the year might be a catch of the year.
Yeah.
But offside on Kearns. Remember, it's not the college or collegiate or NFL rule. Essentially, it's an offside. You step over, dead ball penalty. And we're going to start at the ground. It's Haunga coming near side. And Haunga ran out of bounds just shy of the 40-yard line to the 39, where it'll be 3rd down and 1. And I think the best change for Haunga from last year to this year.
Offside on Kearns. Remember, it's not
last year was 88 or 89 or something like that.
Offside.
Yeah, you see them coming near side. You got all the receivers at the bottom of the screen. Just allow them to get that next level. Nice job.
Haunga ran out of bounds.
And they run Haunga again, and Pokai has the – he's still going. Scorched his way up to the 45-yard line. No whistle on any type of forward progression. And it'll be 1st and 10, T-Birds.
Again, establishing that ground game here early. Beckstead only had 77 yards last.
Beckstead goes through the defender and is at the 45-yard line, or down to the 45 for another T-Bird 1st down, as they're going to stay in the hurry-up.
I thought he did have a really good week last week, and he's got the potential every play to just bust one.
And Beckstead's met in the hole and dropped, and I believe on the stop immediately there. These gold on white numbers. Please hang with us here.
I thought it was 20, Polanco.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Omar Polanco able to come up and make the stop. This is 2nd down and 9. And now,
again,
they're offsides. Remember, you can't get back. There's no get-back opportunity in high school football. I dislike that, by the way. I think it was done to protect quarterbacks or players on free hits, but mercy me.
Yeah. 10 free yards on this drive alone.
From a flinch.
Yeah.
So he
had to wind the clock, and that confused the offense there. So we'll get things kind of squared away here.
Hey, everybody's in week 2.
Yeah.
So 2nd down and 4 for the T-Birds. And Leo Amavai got plenty of time going deep. Got a man. Makes the catch. Touchdown, Timpview. Jared Espling, the junior wide receiver, pulls it in.
What wind. How about this throw from Amavai? We said much improved over the offseason, the growth that he had. Check out this throw, folks. There is a wind right to left on your screen. He's got multiple deep routes. You see one safety to guard them both. Can't do it. Beautiful grab there by Esplin, and it's an early 6 for the T-Birds.
I know Pop Amavai's watching the stream back east. He's got to be pleased to see that throw from Liu there. 10:25 left in the first quarter. Opening drive, touchdown for the T-Birds. You're watching the Corner Canyon Classic on Game Night Live Rewind. Okay. Oh, you're good. Mr. Dane Stewart of Game Night Live Rewind. A terrific opening drive for Timpview. Capped off a beautiful ball from Amavai to Esplin.
Yeah, I mean, one, you start the running game with Beckstead, and so then you see Kearns kind of, all right, we're going to single safety, try to stop that, and I love the recognition by Amavai, and just a beautiful throw. Dusty, again, there's a good wind here, and it was like it was nothing. So Liu Amavai, I mean, I think back to that game last year at Cedar Valley.
Yep.
We saw that wind be disruptive, and you see the development, the growth of that arm to be able to get that ball down the field, not have it affect the throw, and big things in store for Timpview here in 2021.
I had a chance to talk to Coach Andy Stokes before our first video, and I asked him, hey, biggest strides for Liu? He's like, not necessarily physically. He thought mentally that Liu was ready for this year, that he was able to see defenses better, understood the offense that they wanted to run, and he expected him to have an outstanding year. And mentioned throw for over 400 yards in week 1. A great start here in week 2 is Timpview can get caught offside, showing blitz.
Either that or if there was movement by Kearns up front by the showing of the blitz, and that is indeed the call.
So it'll be a 5-yard penalty here on the Cougars. Going to back them inside the 25-yard line.
I think it was Taylor Mallow who was giving the indication, like, strap your boots because train's coming.
Who's Rue Baker and who's Jack Parkman? First and 15. Going to run off the edge, and here's our man, Naki Liha. And Naki goes out of bounds, loses his lid. He'll have to sit out the next play. But from first and 15 to second down and 2, maybe or 3, maybe 2 for the Cougars.
Look, you don't win the Diamond in the Rough award without having some talent. Naki Liha, great to have him back. And, I mean, last year, I don't want to say he was overshadowed, but there were so many options on that offense that we didn't see kind of the stellar season like we saw his sophomore year.
Right.
He's back and looking for names here in his senior season, and he's been off to a great start.
Back to the ground. And a first down for the Cougars. So go from first to 15 and pick it up in 2 plays. And it was interesting talking to some people about, hey, why do you match up with Kearns versus Timpview? He said, we couldn't stop the run, so I think they're going to come run it at us.
Yeah.
Thought that was an interesting, very open note about where Timpview feels like that'd be better on defense.
Yeah, and I think the reality is, I mean, you look at this, the first week for Kearns, and I think Toivout only threw it like 14 times. So it's not an offense built on, down the field and really airing the ball out. It is more of a physical run game. But clearly they're going to do and try to do what they do well.
Going to fire complete to his man for a first down inside of Timpview territory. And on the catch and run for the Kearns Cougars is number 84, Cody Barrett. Beautiful ball there from Toivout.
Yeah, last year would have been Jack Kelly. Remember, Jack Kelly was so dynamic down the field for Kearns, and Barrett, good to see him. Just nice little post route there, and Toivout able to find it. look, it's kind of a similar mentality here, right? All right, you want to try to stop our run game. We have a quarterback who can sling it. We may not do it 50 times, but he's got the capability and dials one up here for a first down.
Unless you watch our videos, and every touchdown was scored by now I'm going to blank on it. Bad snap. Toya Val has nowhere to go. That was doomed from the beginning. And just like their first play of the game, they're going to be backed up 5-6 yards.
Jeff Bassa?
Jeff Bassa, that's what's going.
Who's got a shot at safety at Oregon as a freshman, by the way, and he wears the perfect sports number. I think you and I are both in agreement of that, of the number 20.
Yep.
So Jeff Bassa has a good for him, man. Go tear it up in Eugene.
Absolutely. You can have a couple. Well, we have 3 Utahns that could be starting up there. Kingsley Samatea and Jackson Light here at Corner Canyon, and Jeff Bassa. They're going to go to the ground, and nothing doing this time for Naki Liha. As it'll be 3rd down and forever for the Cougars.
Yeah, how about this defensive push by Acera, as there was just not a lot of room to go. 54 lined up right on top of the ball there for Timpview. And look at him, I mean, barely even get a block. There's just, that's not going to work very well, and it didn't on 2nd down.
So 3rd down and 19 for the Cougars. In a spot they don't like to be in. That is putting the ball in the air. Pressure coming. Trying to set the screen. Toya Val just got rid of that. It's an incomplete pass. I don't know why we're still playing through here. There we go. Incomplete pass. And it'll be 4th down, and the punting unit's going to come on for Kearns.
Beautifully timed blitz here. Coming off the edge for Timpview. As, never mind.
Preston's just trying to transition from game 1 to game 2.
Man.
Preston
struggling.
Preston has a long leash. 2-7 win for the T-Birds.
See what Amavai has in store here. Drive number 2.
We started through the air on the second drive. That's Tay Nakua. And yes, he is the youngest of the Nakuas. We had Isaiah, who was a monster on the defensive front. Obviously, we all know about Samson and Puka. We didn't see Kai play here in the state of Utah. He played at Liberty High School in Nevada. And then Tay, as he has 2 catches on this opening drive for about 3 yards. And as I mentioned in our preview video, if you hadn't seen that, I have on good authority, very good source close to the brothers Nakua, that Tay will be the best Nakua.
No pressure. Just go tear up the high school scene week in, week out for a couple years,
Got some records he has to take down to Puka first.
Look at the protection.
Leo has plenty of time. He had nowhere to go. Nice coverage on the back end. Also, forcing that pressure got there to force the throw. And it is 4th down. So nice job by this Kearns defense coming out, forcing a 3-and-out.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that first drive, gutted a couple of big runs, obviously the big play over the top. That drive much more prepared, kind of dialed into this game and do a much better job. A couple passing plays there for Amavai. The first couple are underneath. And then on a big 3rd down, they're able to stay true to their assignments and force a punt here.
Pressure comes, and the ball gets off the side of his foot. Man, that hit a wall, didn't it? And that checks up and rolls back inside the 40-yard line. Man alive. Tony Finau needs to see something like that this weekend to win his first tournament.
I'll tell you this, all right? We're going to show this one more time, and there's a reason why we're going to show it, and it's not any fault of the punter. Check out this ball in the air, and as you recognize what the wind does to this, you're going to see it just come straight vertical down. Remember, Amavai threw a 40-yard touchdown into that wind. I just want to point that out for you.
Remember, we talked about in that first game, you got to throw a tight ball if you're going to cut it through the wind.
Yeah.
So out comes Kearns on a short field on the 38-yard line of Timpview. 6:59 left in the opening quarter. And Timpview is showing it cover 0. My goodness, you think they want to come after Naki Liha. And Liha had nowhere to go. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. Josh Arnold, the defensive coordinator of the Timpview Thunderbirds. And for those who've been around pro for a while, yes, that Josh Arnold was a free safety or strong safety for Lovell Edwards and Ken Schmidt back in the 90s. I got to nerd out for a moment.
Well, and some of it, I'll tell you, Lone Peak brought that a lot last week. And so Oh, hey, that's going to work in high school? Great, we'll do it week 2.
And again, committing a lot of guys. Toya Val throws, and the ball is behind the intended receiver. The ball was intended for Laua Tafili, and it'll be 3rd down and 10.
And that's one where Toya Val, if you get a little more air under that, allow the wind to cover, there's no one over the top. Tafili has his man beat. You might be in the end zone right now. Instead, that one's on a bit of a rope. Tough to get that out in front of the defense, and ends up being a 3rd and long here.
You know, it's the nerdy part of quarterbacking. It's like when you, and I'm not a good golfer, but good golfers know you got to shape your shots to get everything to fit. Same with quarterbacking. It's about pace, timing, throw, and shaping that. This is 3rd and 10. Pressure coming. Toya Val eludes it, fires downfield. Some bumps, no whistles, or no flags and no whistle. And it'll be 4th down for Kearns. Kind of no man's land.
Yeah, another blitz here coming from Ambrosio. This time he's going to come through the line, but does not get picked up. You see him kind of inching in here, and he's just going to have an opportunity to get in on Toya Val. Forces that throw. Wasn't able to get his feet set. Really just had to get rid of it, and nice defensive play there by Timpview.
Pressure coming on this punt, little rugby punt kick that's taken inside the 20. He was down. As I thought we can let him run around, but Tianka Atuaya, I'm sure his Papa Marky's watching this back in Virginia. The Tianka wasn't going over the wall there, so we'll be down inside the 20-yard line.
I think if you're Timpview, I try to get back to the run game a little bit, right? Get that balance back. Pick up a couple first downs, try to catch this Kearns defense being overly aggressive.
As start on the ground, just like they did in the opening drive of the game. A gain of about 5-yard line, or about 5 yards to the 24, almost 25-yard line. So 2nd and 4 to Micah Beckstead. Oh, bad snap, and Almavai just able to get back on top of it. And there'll be a loss to the 16.
Yeah, I mean, a costly mistake here. That snap comes out high, and Amavai does everything he can and does recover it, but you're not going to, that play's really dead. You lose 7 yards on it. Now putting you behind the sticks here on 3rd and long.
Yeah, the spot you got to call no joy and just get on it. 3rd down, 11. Liu, plenty of time, firing to the corner, underthrown off the hands of Haunga, and it's intercepted. And on the interception for the Kearns Cougars is Parker Hansen.
Opportunistic, and this is one where Amavai, I don't mind the read here. It just isn't caught cleanly by the receiver. And you see Amavai here, decent enough protection. Good pocket, steps up. That ball is on target, just isn't brought down. And Haunga, we talked about his receptions last week. That's one that he would love to have back. Instead, they give it up, and now Kearns set up short field.
Well, after the punt, I mean, they gained 5 yards on the turnover there on the interception.
Yeah, worked out. For Kearns, you got to figure out a way to get Lehigh going. I mean, the run game, he had the one nice carry. Other than that, it's been bottled up.
Okay, and that snap was off the mark. That was off the timing, and I don't know if it matters. He was buried at the line of scrimmage. Amongst many of the flock from the T-Birds was Dallas Flake getting in there, number 64, to help make the stop on Naki Lehigh.
Yeah, this is a good Timpview front. I mean, last week, Lone Peak, that offensive line was able to create some running lanes against it, but they returned 4 or 5 starters. They're a top 3 team in the state, right? That's not where Kearns is at. And so this defensive front's really going to have a chance to flex their muscle today, and in this first quarter, they've been able to do that. They've bottled up this run game nicely.
Play clock down to 10 seconds. Again, Timpview showing pressure. Toya Val gets away from one man. Now fires downfield. A nice breakup, but they're going to get him with the pass interference. I thought that was good D there for Tonga Val, but they're going to get him for that backside arm. That's what you're taught. Get arm with that. Some cloth there and long arm, but they got him with the flag.
Transfer in here for Timpview this year, Taragavau, and we'll have another chance to look at this play. Boy, I thought the coverage was pretty good as well. Once again, though, you see pressure getting in that backfield quickly here. And, I mean, a great job by Toyavau, able to get out of it. Now we have a chance to look I mean, you see that right arm maybe wrapped around the waist, and that coming from the back judge. I think that's exactly what he called here. So, free first down given here to the Cougars.
Well, but because of the loss on first down, remember, no automatic first downs in high school football.
Oh, I thought it was going to be enough, but yeah, you're right. It's short.
But actually, I think they called defensive holding on pass interference, a 10-yard penalty. So 2nd down and 1. And back to the ground, and Leah maybe slipped 1 tackle, not 2. And back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 1.
And that was Braxton Feely. In case you wonder, that's another popular name of really good football players in the state. And Braxton is, as you can tell, he's talented.
An absolute stud,
yeah.
Braxton Feely. 3-year starter for Coach Andy Stokes. Been part of this program since Andy took it over. And it's now 3rd down and 1.
Again, showing
and
blitz.
Again, back to the ground game, and Leah able to slip through and gets inside the 20-yard line for a Kearns Cougar first down. And it'll be a fresh set of downs for the green and gold as they'll lose a couple of linemen. 2 lids, not just 1. Might be worth just taking a timeout.
You have another look at this play, and Lehigh was one of those guys that has to run off. But look at this. Again, you see both linebackers coming here right up the middle for Timpview. Great job blocking there, and Lehigh able to find the seam and pick up the first.
Play action on first down. Feely giving chase. Toyeval just got rid of it. Got a man back there, but that ball's carried through the end zone and incomplete. But Toyeval, luckily he's athletic.
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, if you want justification for why you should have an athletic quarterback, watch the first 8 minutes of this contest, because it's been Toyeval having to fight for his life. I mean, look at how quickly Feely's getting through that line. You can't get your feet set. You can't square up. There's very little that you should expect Toyeval to be able to do right now. You got to figure out a way to try to contain this Timpview pass rush.
And they go back to the ground as Naki Leha. And Naki gets down to the 11-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 1.5 yards for the Cougars.
Yeah, last couple runs here for Kearns, they've done a nice job of creating lanes for Naki. Remember, he had been bottled up for a couple of carries, but you see this time following the right side, nice hole there, and you see him with good juke on that linebacker, able to win another 5 yards on the play.
As we go inside the 3-minute mark of the first quarter, and actually marked him a little shorter than I thought initially. So put him at the 12. Oh, bad snap. And Toyeval able to get back on top of it at the 21. Oh, man, for Kearns, you're getting so close, a chance to give yourself an opportunity to tie this thing up. Taylor Malo gets back there to cover up Toyeval, but now they'll have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, I mean, a drive where you're given a short field, you do all the work, you have a 3rd and 1, and an untimely play, and you're having to settle here. And this is no gimme.
So coming on is place kicker. Ball is up, and with the wind, it no good.
Nope.
Glade could not find the uprights on that one. So put the ball at the 20-yard line, and Timpview bent, did not break, and was really afforded a gift there on the bad snap and able to hold him out of the end zone.
Yeah, I'll tell you, really dangerous moment in this contest right here. I mean, Timpview gives up the short field. Defense comes up with the stand, missed field goal. I mean, you got an opportunity right now, Timpview, to go out and really take hold of this contest and see how aggressive they elect to be here.
Yeah, Kearns is not a 2-score team.
No.
So out comes Almavai and the T-Birds. Liu fires underneath. And that's Beckstead out of the backfield, making the catch out across the 25-yard line.
I kind of like the misdirection here, and in an uncustomary way, you've got 3 receivers to the top. You're going to run your bottom receiver completely out of the picture and fill that gap with Beckstead, and there's all sorts of space for him to work here in the flat. That's just a beautiful job. Again, everyone's kind of thinking everything's going to go topside on that, and Beckstead able to take it up, pick up 5.
So 2nd down and 5, back on the ground. And that will be near a first down marker. You need to get to the 30, and that's where the near side will mark him down. And that is Beckstead once again on the carry. It'll be a first down for Timpview.
It's just a steady 5 right now for Micah Beckstead. Every time he's running the football, it feels like it's 4, 5, 6 yards, and
so officials
he's having
time
himself a solid start.
So it's interesting. So if you haven't had a chance on Friday nights, if you don't have one stream you're watching, hang out with me on KSL's Friday Night Red Zone. We had a game last night where they had to call timeout to help a lineman tie their shoe, and the commentators were teasing. It's like, no, it's an equipment malfunction, fellas. Like, we had to stop. What you had here was the chin strap came loose there for Kearns. They had to help him out. It was that top button. So after the stoppage, it's Esplin who had the touchdown on the first drive with the catch across the 40-yard line. And that is a Timpview first down.
And this is a play you'll see from Timpview all year long. They ran it a ton last week against Lone Peak. It's just a real simple out play, but you're going to give 8 yards in coverage to our receiver. All right, we'll take him.
As there's a gain of 3, I believe, to the 45-yard line. They must have watched film on the Lone Peak Bishop Gorman game from a couple years ago. Remember, that was all Luke Romney threw was that out route.
Yep, they lived off it last week and playing with it here in the first.
Second down and 7, back to the ground. Palcahonga shows a lot of patience in the hole there, and the guy that does everything for Timpview picks up another T-Bird first down, and as they enter Kearns territory.
The other thing I really love about Timpview this year is the pace they're playing at. It is, hey, we're going to get you on your heels and we're going to keep you there, right? We're not going to allow you to really get your footing. We're not going to let you get comfortable. We're just going to keep coming at you. The tempo today in this first has been just along those same lines.
Again, that quick out on first down, and Esplin could not squeeze it. Got to catch it before we go upfield, and Esplin let that one slip through his hands. I know T-Bird greats wide receivers are probably all yelling at the screen and one behind us. The 1991 Salt Lake Tribune Player of the Year wouldn't have dropped that one.
We just had confirmation of that, too.
Hit us up on Twitter if you know who that is. Second down and 10. And you see Almavai, you're able to check with me. Amazing to see where this offense has gone. The first school to bring this in was Cottonwood under Scott Cate. As Almavai throws up the sideline looking for Esplin, got him! And Esplin is inside the 10, down to the 6. And it'll be first and goal, T-Birds.
Another big throw by Amavai. This is single coverage, bottom side, and Esplin, a little bit of jockeying there. I couldn't tell if he maybe got away with a little bit of a push as that ball was in the air or not, but you see the separation there. Beautiful throw by Amavai, and it's first and goal.
That caught a man-to-man at the bottom. And here we go, power I. And some beef on the field. And we got a late flag coming in. Might have an illegal participation here on Kearns as a defender had exited the field through the back of the end zone.
Maybe too many men on.
Gave Kearns a timeout. So take the timeout with Kearns. 58 seconds left in the first quarter. You're watching the Corner Canyon Classic on Game Night Live Rewind.
Gear up, get out, and get moving. Locally owned and operated since 1995, visit us at saltlakerunning.com today.
Yeah, welcome back into Corner Canyon out of the timeout. Kearns are going to get caught with, well, I think they're going to get called with 12 players in the field or even a little participation, too many guys in the huddle. But out of the timeout, Timpview's not hiding anything. They're going right back to the power I. with a lot of beef on the field.
They got a couple William Perrys back there.
Right. And actually he's going to run it straight ahead. And actually didn't quite get there, as that is Jacob Trongoval. And Trongoval turned away at around the 1-yard line.
Oh, I love this. Hey, we're going to show you. Yeah, you think we're going run? We're going to run behind our big man? Now we're going to use one of our athletes and get him in space. How about this? And the little fake coming back. Nice stop.
This is close to that BYU scrum formation they ran with Austin Kofensis. And that's exactly, they go right back to it. And did he get in? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Timpview. Jacob Trongoval gets in. The 6'1 DB finds the end zone. And it's the T-Birds up 13-0 with 26 seconds left in the quarter.
Yeah, first touchdown for Trongoval as a Timpview T-Bird. And it's the same call. Again, you see the little fake, and now just going to follow your big blockers into the end zone.
And the point after is good, and no whistle on the kicker going to the ground. So with 26 seconds left in the quarter, it is all Timpview thus far. T-Birds lead 14-0. You're watching the Corner Canyon Classic on Game Night Live Rewind. So welcome back in. Dana, impressive to watch Timpview's offense this week.
It is, and to me the most notable difference, Dusty, is hey, we're not going to jam Amavai down your throat. We're going to be methodical about it. And I mean, it's another touchdown run, but it's set up on the long throw by Amavai. And I've been so impressed with their game plan today. And the thing for me that I've also enjoyed was, last week Amavai at Lone Peak had to throw into the wind. And his receiver's running a deep post. He kind of throws it backside, gets caught up, ends up being intercepted. We have not seen the wind affect any of his deep throws today. He has been on point, and love to see his progression last year to this year, because this young man is not the same player that he was in 2020.
As this ball is taken inside the 15-yard line and finding a bit of a seam out across the 30 to 35. Couldn't quite pick up the number there. Again, this is the gold on white, man. It's getting me. I think on the return was Dominic Thornton. So Dominic Thornton. But back comes this Kearns offense. They were finding their footing in their last drive. They've got Naki Lehigh loose on a couple of carries. But now they're in a spot, as we talked about earlier, they don't want to be behind offensively 2 scores.
Yeah.
Not that it's insurmountable, and I think plenty of time left.
Yeah, I mean, it's the tough thing is you've got to figure out a way to block this front of Timpview because it hasn't been working all that well. Naki did have a couple runs on that last drive, but they've done a nice job following him up. The pressure on Toyavau is too much. I mean, if Timpview's going to force you to throw the football, as you see that one blown up by Feely immediately, if they're going to force you to throw the football, you've got to find a way to give him time. And right now, there isn't any. There's no time for Kearns.
And that will be the final play of the first quarter, and a quarter that was dominated by the Timpview T-Birds. The first meeting since 1994. And at the end of one, it is Timpview 14, Kearns 0. You're watching the Corner Canyon Classic on Game Night Live Rewind on KSLSports.com. Start of the second quarter, Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart with you. It is Kearns football, second down and 12, and all the things they don't want to have for this offense, it's kind of happening. Down 2 scores, oh man, behind the chains, and now even further behind the chains is on the stop there for the T-Birds is Tiankum Atuaya.
They're just flying around right now. I mean, to me, Dusty, we talked in the earlier game. I did Bingham last night, and it feels like that's just how this Timpview defense is playing. They're getting a lot of pressure in the backfield. They're extremely quick. They're laying the wood left and right. There's not a lot of places for Kearns to go right now.
So 3rd down and 15 for Kearns. I mean, Timpview is playing straight downhill. And now we're going to have a false start on the Cougars.
Well, they were even going to come with pressure on the outside. You saw Andrew Nixon kind of leaning in like, I'm coming too. So there's going to be both edges going to have pressure. And Kearns will get another whack at it. But right now you got to figure out how to get the ball out of Toya Val's hands quickly.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, so you told the screen to do it, and Atuaya reads it because they're just playing downhill. If you're going to force them to play in a 10-yard box, it's a tough world to live in if you're Kearns.
Yep. And especially considering their best receiving targets from last year are both playing D1 ball right now. Someone's got to step in and fill those roles.
As Toya Val tried to roll in this near side, nothing doing. It was Braxton Feely in there once again, and then also, I believe, number 22 for Timpview. That is Hezekiah Ambrosio. And actually, it was number 5. That was Puna Alatini that initial hit.
I mean, this is why I like seeing these games from up in the press box. If you're Toya Val, this play's dead.
Right.
And he's just been taking those hits time and time again. Timpview has just been so good defensively. And folks, for context, and I know it's week 2, it's not week 1, but this defense gave up 44 points to Lone Peak.
Yeah.
We'll let that just sit with you for a little bit.
It's a different world. It certainly is. Oh, and there's pressure on this kick, and that ball goes off the side of the foot. And it'll be Timpview ball inside the 35-yard line. As once again, Timpview just – this is a different Timpview team. And I think also it's a difference, and this is no knock or slide or anything else. We have Lone Peak in our top 5 for a reason. You're looking at one of the top 5 teams in the state, and you're looking at a team that's very, very good in our top 25, but reloading and having to replace a lot of talent. We talk about someone's going to start at Oregon, for heaven's sakes, as their best player, having to reload it, and you're seeing that difference right now.
Yeah, you are. And, the other thing is you see the imprint of Coach Stokes. Year 4, right? So there's familiarity, there's depth, and right now there's a lot of speed and quickness and physicality. And, this Timpview team, we thought that, they lose a lot of talent. Carson Ryan being gone, Targi Lamson graduating. You look at that defense, Fano and so many guys that graduated, moved on, and yet this program is, as it's been for so long, just we reload here, and it's what Timpview's done here in 21.
Plenty of time. Alvai going deep, looking for Pokai Honga, and that ball got away and incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Seabirds.
That's a fortunate one because Honga had that defense beat. That ball probably does get caught a little bit, sails a little bit on Amavai, but man. And Honga did that last week against Lone Peak, right? Was able to beat that secondary. I'm really excited to see the year that he turns in for Timpview. I think he's going to be a big, big star for them this year, and expect to see 17 and talk about him late in the year and even potentially for some award nominations.
Absolutely. 3rd down and 10 for Amavai. Liu getting good protection. The pressure did come. Finds his man. That's Tay Nakua. And Nakua has a 1st down inside the 20. 1st and 10, Timpview.
Good route combination here, bottom of the screen. As you talk about Nakua, but you also had a receiver that was running scissors with him and kind of crossed that secondary up a little bit, opened up the underneath space, and on-target throw there.
And now on the ground, it's Beckstead inside the 10, and it's now 1st and goal for Timpview at the 6.
Our apologies on that. To Micah, we missed it. We were a little late getting out. Preston.
Preston just wants to shine for a moment.
Not getting a passing grade on that play is our intern.
So now 1st and goal, back to Beckstead. Micah picking his way. Still driving, still driving, still driving. And we're not going to have BYU versus Tennessee part 2. It'll be second and goal from the 1. But you've seen again the commitment to the ground as Beckstead will come off. Haunga will now go from wide out to running back.
Timeout.
So timeout, Coach Rickards. 8:37 left in the half. We'll be right back. You're watching a Game Night Live Rewind, Game of the Week. So welcome back. 8:37 left in the half as Timpview can go with trips to the top of the screen. It's Haunga in the backfield with Almavai. And they're going to go right up the middle. And Kearns, hey, they're going on a little Timpview defense, bringing everybody. And stops Haunga. It'll be third down and goal now for the T-Birds. They got 2 cracks to go back in to try to get back in the end zone.
A nice stop there by that Kearns defensive front. To your point, Dusty, they got to keep doing it.
Thought we'd see Beckstead in the backfield here. But
want to spread the wealth a little bit.
Almavai goes under center. He's just going to fall behind his big guys, and it's Tio Almavai in the end zone. And he now counts for all 3 touchdowns in the first half. 2 touchdown passes, and now a rushing touchdown. And 8:04 left in the half. It is 20-0 Timpview.
I think the first time I've seen Timpview go under center this year. But, I mean, when you got this offensive line, why not? The way they've been able to block this Kearns front so far, just follow the big boys in, and Almavai able to do it. And it is all T-Birds.
That's a different type of zone blocking, right? Just end zone blocking. The old Jim Jones wedge play that Emory ran for years is Timpview coming off with a point after. Jacob Larson is wide to the right and no good. So 8:04 left in the half. It's Timpview 20, Kearns 0. You're watching the Game Night Live Rewind Game of the Week.
Gear up, get out, and get moving. Locally owned and operated since 1995, visit us at saltlakerunning.com today.
.804 left in the half. Dusty Lister and Dane Stewart with you. And I got to make a correction. Almavai did not account for that second touchdown. I want to thank all of our staff here. Preston wasn't on it, but everybody else was here. It was actually Jacob Trongoval.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Came in on the scrum formation.
Just give it time. I'm sure Leo will get to 3. So
I'm just speaking it into future stuff.
Yeah.
Putting it out there for him. So back comes this Kearns offense, and it's been a tough sledding for him. I mean, it's not just Naki Leha. I mean, it's everything right now. And I don't know that Josh Arnold and Timpview's necessarily going to call off the dogs until we'll see what the score is at halftime.
Yeah.
Maybe midway through the third quarter. If you can't block it up, that's the old. Remember the Titans gonna blitz all night until they block it up.
Technical issues. We'll get those resolved for you here in just a moment.
Kearns takes a timeout to avoid a delay game penalties. We're a little slow getting out of here. I think right now for Kearns and Noble, we've got some players aren't playing today for different reasons, but just a little sluggish. We saw this earlier today.
Yeah.
The 11 o'clock game where I feel like Brighton was just 11 o'clock's not used. You're not used to it till the state tournament, till the semifinals.
Yeah.
And I kind of see right now with Kearns Saturday afternoon. It's just a little interesting feeling to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's been tough for them to find the rhythm that they like to establish. And some of that is certainly credit to Timpview. The defense has been unbelievable here in this first half. But I mean, this is a Kearns team that is a physical team. And you can even look outside of Region 2. There's a team that goes and battles. Now, yeah, they haven't played Timpview for 30 years, right? And they don't go play a lot of the Region 4 powers and whatnot, but they go and they play Region 1s and Region 3s, and they hang with those teams. And so it is one where, I think probably a number of different factors today for Kearns that are contributing to what's been a tough first half.
Tianka Matawaya just took an absolute shot from his own team. It's some friendly fire there as that pass is incomplete, but it was Taylor Malo. Came with bad intentions and got Tianka.
Yeah, and Malo's a young man that, this Timpview team, these last couple of years, I've loved watching Kill Richardson.
Yep.
Now at BYU, who's going to be that next, linebacker to fill that gap? And Malo here as a senior's been impressive here today.
So 2nd and 10. Toya Val hands off Naki Liha, and Liha dropped in the backfield, and with that stop was Braxton Feely. There's the thing that bad snap does. When you have an errant snap on a run play, it just throws off the timing. Your blocks aren't timed up. Liha's not getting the ball at the same time.
Well, and the problem is that when you're getting the pressure that Timpview's putting on you, then it makes your center double think some of that,
yep.
Right? And those snaps don't come as cleanly. So it's one where the problem just kind of feeds itself.
Pressure coming. Toya Val got away from it for a moment. That ball's knocked in the air. And that's a fumble. I thought that was hit by the helmet, but they're going to say incomplete pass. And Kearns got back on top of it, but I thought that may have been a fumble, Dane.
Yeah, let's see if we have another look at it here. I thought it might have been a fumble as well. I didn't know that the arm was coming forward, but, I mean, again, just look at how quickly. This is pure pass blocking, and it's like, there's just not much there. I mean, there's no time for Toya Val at all, and it's just the same problem.
Right. Well, they call it incomplete pass, and I'm a Raider fan. There's no such thing as an incomplete pass and a fumble off the quarterback, but had to get away from all the pressure, and now about that's going to be a short kick here. For Kearns right now, this is growing pains in a bunches right now. Kearns has had and will have better days or better halves of football than what we're seeing right now.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately not the day that Kearns wanted nor expected. But that's how this first half is playing out. And give a lot of credit to Timpview.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, completely seized hold of this game just a quarter and a half into it.
Well, you can't just give it. It has to be taken, too. Zalmovai looking left, firing left, and that ball is a little too tall there for Foster, the intended receiver. I mean, how do I like to do this? Ryan moves on, transfers, and goes to American Fork. All you do is replace him with a 6'6", 225-pound tight end.
Yeah. I mean, talking with the staff before the game last week against Lone Peak, they're like, yeah, sometimes we just throw it up to him because who's going to match up with 6'6"? It's like, that's a good point.
I'm just trying to figure out if Izzy Ingles found his way to the hardwood.
If I recall correctly, he did play basketball last year.
Did he? So we didn't get a chance to see a lot of Timpview last year.
Right.
COVID was all different. We were covering different teams. They had that crazy playoff game. That's right. You had him in the semifinals. That's right. 3rd down and 6. And it's Amavai looking for Haunga, and Pokai able to pull that in. What a catch.
This is even good coverage on the play by Valero, but it's just a better placed ball and a heck of a snag by Haunga on the play. As you have a look at this, I mean, look at the coverage here. This is not a very big window. And a great job there by Haunga.
That'll be 1st and 10. Trips to the top of the screen. Almavai, pump it, throw it. And Haunga unable to pull that one in. As it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Almost anticipation there by Kearns as the corner let that go, knowing the safety's going to have it deep and unable to sneak that ball in there for Haunga.
Esplin to the bottom of the screen. He's had 2 big catches today. One a touchdown, the other set up a 1st and goal. There goes 2nd and 10. Go to the ground. And that's a bevy of running backs for Timpview. And on the carry was Tuaoni. So Curvin Tuaoni on the carry, a gain of 8, maybe 9, where it'll be 3rd down and short.
Ooh, almost got him.
Yeah, he did. 3rd and 1. Back to Tuaoni. And he's got the 1st down. Took a shot to the legs, but he's got a 1st down inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal, Timpview. And this is where I'd like the Chad Orden roll right, throw back left. Guy starts in the slot on the right, comes all the way over across the field.
Yeah, saw it a couple hours ago. Different contest, but about the same spot.
Yeah.
About 5 yards back.
So Beckstead in the backfield with Almavai. Liu looks left, now fires for Beckstead, a little too quick. And it's incomplete and be 2nd and goal.
Yeah, I like the idea here. Esplin's the receiver at the bottom of the screen and gives a double move, trying to pull that corner to free the underneath throw out of the backfield to Beckstead. Just too much on it.
Again, Esplin to the bottom of the screen. And now going to throw the bubble. Vea made a nice move into the end zone. Touchdown, Isaiah Vea. And Timpview up 26-0. But there's a flag on the play. Might have a hold on the bubble screen.
We'll have a chance to have another look at this play, but Vea does a nice job to make this catch, and then beautiful move. As we wait the call, we'll take a look here. Let's see if we can see it. It is a hold. I think it's right there. Yeah, you can see those hands get up high on the block. So what was a beautiful move.
Yep.
Assisted illegally, and Timpview will be backed up.
So wipe off the Vea touchdown. 2nd and goal from the 18 now. And now a false start.
It's going to come from a receiver.
Oh, offside.
Oh, whoa. Never mind. Esplin kind of gave a look to the linesman like, yeah, I know. And instead, Kearns called here.
He did too. He kind of, speaking of Esplin, but moved the ball at 5 yards. So 2nd and goal from the 13. Again, trips to the top of the screen. Esplin near side. Almavai feels the pressure, pumps it. Now a flag on the play and throws it away. So we're going to have a sort out a penalty. That's a defensive.
Well, there's flags on both sidelines. So whatever it is, both linesmen were on it.
Let's see. Post snap could be a legal formation. Yep. So legal formation on Timpview. Too many men in the backfield. So the guy that was supposed to be on was off.
That is another point of emphasis, and in particular with offensive lines this year.
Yeah, the tackle.
Yep.
Absolutely. As Almovai steps up, sets up his protection, and finds his man. Touchdown. Vea had a comeback earlier and gets it here. The first ball over the middle I can recall for maybe all day.
And this ball's on a line. This is a great throw by Almovai. As you have another look at it, can't tell you, Dusty, just how impressed I am with his response in 2021. See him just looking, stepping up. And look at that, almost an effortless throw, and just drops that right over the top into the breadbasket. And another 6 for the T-Birds.
I always feel good. Isaiah Vea had the touchdown on the bubble screen and able to get it back there. And the kick is good. 5:05 left in the half. It continues to be all T-Birds here at Corner Canyon, as it is Timpview 27, Kearns 0. So after the Timpview touchdown, it's the T-Birds kicking away here. And that ball goes into the end zone. And it'll be a touchback, bringing it out to the 20-yard line. And this Kearns offense has got to find something, Dane. I mean, it's going to be tough no matter what. And most of this is, we'll never say a game's over. We'll never go that route. But right now, I mean, you got quite the hill to climb here, especially on offense that has had one good drive that had a 3rd and 1 opportunity, gone by the wayside on a bad snap, and then a penalty, and things just kind of died from there, and a missed field goal attempt. But nothing's gone right this afternoon for Kearns.
No, it hasn't. And, you know, whenever we do games, Dusty, I tend to like to keep stats. Today I'm not working some other things. Preston needs a third hand, and so, you know, we're trying to do what we can to help him. But if I was, I mean, I would be surprised if Kearns is over 100 yards. It's just been that kind of a tough offense, and it doesn't get easier here. That we've seen that a couple times. And again, with the pass rush or the rush in general that Timpview's getting, it makes your center, I think, a little and we've seen that bite the Cougars a couple times here.
Yeah, when you got to have both hands to block the guy that's coming ahead of you.
Yeah.
Just going a little too fast. About the third, it's the second one that's really bit them. We're talking about the bad snap that stopped them on a 3rd and 1. And now backed inside their own 10. Oof. And nearly picked off. Getting his hands on it. It's incomplete. Is Andrew Nixon.
No, it was not. It was your guy.
Oh, it's Tainakua.
Yeah. At least I thought it was 10.
I thought it was 18.
We'll see now. Oh, you're right. What am I doing?
Hey, 5s and 8s get me.
Yeah, well, I thought it was 10, but you were all over it. It was Andrew Nixon.
He almost was a crook. Almost took that right out of the air. 3rd and forever. Going to fire on that quick slant. Catch made. Staying on his feet across the 15 to the 18. Nearly to the 20. How about the effort on the catch and run? I believe it was Naki Leha. They split out there.
No, it was 13.
Oh, thank you. I can't. The
yeah,
goal,
so it was
man.
Isaac Lukert.
See, this is why you do that, because I can't see the goal.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about. If you're going to, against this Timpview defense, if you want to move the ball, you got to get that ball out of the hands of Toyeval quickly. And that time it's a real quick drop, gather, ball's out, and it's a nice gain. not going to be enough to continue the drive, but maybe that's something you look at. Hey, all right, what do we have to help get this ball moving a little quicker against this aggressive Timpview defense?
And again, the wind just continues to blow right to left, and now we're going to have a fair catch interference, and it'll be a 15-yard penalty from the spot, so it'll be Timpview ball around the 33-yard line.
You know, that's the tough thing on special teams is your gunners are not looking for the trajectory of that ball, and so as a player's coming up to try to make a fair catch on it, you have some of those collisions, and as Moose likes to put it, the trash of that one betraying the Kearns special teams unit.
The trash?
Trash. Short for trajectory.
Oh, okay.
And because it's more than just about height.
I thought he was going tragedy, you know.
No. But that could work, too, in different contexts.
You know how glad I am to have Moose being a part of what we're doing with Game Night Live Rewind. Moose does a great job with War Room and all the stuff he does recruiting. And what the fun part is, maybe it's bad, too, how old I feel. But it's also how close we were to the ages of the guys we were covering at the time. Well, they're going to wave the flag because of what? Interesting. They waved the flag off. But Moose was someone we covered. But he was at Alta from 06 to 09. Dane and I started in 05.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 21, 22. You were 23, 24. I mean, we weren't that far off these guys' ages.
Right.
So now Moose joining the team, calling the game of the week with Dane now. Is Timpview going to start on the fly sweep? And last year's Pokai Haunga, the young man wearing the 80s, is Zed Ambrosio, the freshman. And we got a flag here, probably a holding penalty most likely.
Yeah, Ambrosio had a good week last week, too. There's a couple of Ambrosios on this roster. I'm trying to remember if it was him or if it was one of the other ones, but I think it was him. But this play gonna go for naught. Looked like Esplin didn't love the call there, and this is gonna be a hurtful one for the T-Birds.
So 1st and 20 after the holding penalty. Oh, bad snap. And Almavai able to jump on it. And no harm. Well, you're going to back him up. Not losing the ball. Keep possession. But now it'll be 2nd down and mercy. Over 30 yards to go.
Yeah.
You had one last week. Was it 55? Was it your game last week?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. Like a 2nd and 55 or something?
It was not close. Yeah, I think I'm trying to remember what Jake called it. I think he said 2nd in downtown Orem or something like that.
Almavai throws it up, and it's incomplete. Actually, 2 receivers over there. Ambrosio was there along with Saimaunga. And it'll be 3rd down.
I think that's one of the things that I'm really excited to see in Timpview this year is the down-the-field threat. I mean, even for me, going back to the Britton Covey era, it was always the run game, and that was great. But, man, let's pass the football, and now you've got a guy that can do it. And it was fun seeing it last week against Lone Peak. Excited to be able to see this season unfold for Almavai.
Going to throw Almavai. Fires complete to Nakua as Tay goes inside of Kearns territory to the 47. He takes the shot after the hit. And again, that's kind of that mercy part of the high school part. They call him stepping out of bounds at 47. He gets absolutely leveled at the 45, but I like that they hold the flag.
Yeah. So hard to come off of a tackle at that point. 4th down.
Well, especially when your running back's still running. So 4th down and 19 for Timpview, as we will have a timeout. 2:50 left in the half. You're watching a Game Night Live Rewind Game of the Week.
Gear up, get out, and get moving. Locally owned and operated since 1995, visit us at saltlakerunning.com today.
And welcome back in. Dusty Lister, Dane Stewart, 4th down and 19 for the T-Birds. Who's going to be the Van Leeuwen here on 4th and 19 going deep? Got his man, maybe just a little off the mark as that ball is incomplete, intended for Ambrosio.
Did not miss by much.
And I'm trying to, you said that, the down the field threat. I immediately was like, no, there's a family. The Van Leeuwens all went to Utah State out of Timpview. But
that's
all the way
been
back to the Jackson Owen years, but also about the Britton Covey era, too.
Okay, yeah.
They also had another one. All right. My brain right now is just trying to find all the names. I could see him in my head. Will Watanabe, he was a special teams guy. So I'll think of it. You know me.
I can recategorize that. I don't think of Timpview historically as a passing team down the fields.
Oh, man. Another one goes over the head of Toya Val, and he has to track that one down inside the 25-yard line. And, man, Toya Val's got to be tired.
Yeah. And probably a little black and blue. I mean, he has been taking big hits all game long, and right now it feels like he's trying to get his air a little bit.
Well, I think he landed on the football. Well, I know he landed on the football.
Yeah.
And this only thing that reminds me of this, and it's not to be negative or bad, it's Timpview in the state championship a couple years ago. We couldn't get the center quarterback exchange right.
Yeah, 2 years ago against Orem. Yeah.
Again, that snap wide and able to get his hands on it. Sends us out the flag on the play, but it's going to be Luckert with the reception.
Flag here in the backfield. And I don't know if this might be
I didn't think he was even roughing
hit.
it. Yeah, didn't take him to the ground. But remember, no matter what it is, it's not an automatic first down. So if it's a 15-yard penalty, it'll be 15 yards from the spot. It'll be 2nd down and 16. All right, it is roughing the passer.
Let's see if we can get another look at it here. There was pressure coming from the top side quickly on Toya Val. And see him get rid of it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, pretty good hit.
Okay.
Played into Toya Val after that ball was well away. And dead ball foul, so it is a first down.
So dead ball, not middle of the plate. So 1st and 10 for the Cougars at the 40-yard line. Toya Val pulls it on the RPO, and it's incomplete. Intended for Luckert. It'll be 2nd down and 10. It's amazing because our first state championship football game we got a call was Timpview Highland. Jackson Owen. Remember that one?
Was that Nate Orchard? Or was that before him?
No, it was Nate Fakafua. It was that before.
Yeah,
him.
I mean, he goes by Nate Orchard now. So
I was making sure because there was orchards that went through Highland too.
Yeah, Jake Orchard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no, it was the 06 championship game. Jackson Owen was the running back with oh, man, I'm really pushing on my brain right now because Bateman was the quarterback in 05. I don't remember the name. But anyway, that was the first one we called. Remember, we called Jackson Owen. He was named 4A MVP.
Okay. I do not remember that very well.
MC was the lead. We were both analysts on that one.
Yeah.
It was the first 3-man we did.
Okay.
There's Leah on the carry. Back to the line of scrimmage, so 3rd down and forever.
I do not. I can barely remember last season, let alone 06. But
that was Wong's first state championship.
Okay.
And it started that whole run. So 3rd down and 15 now for the Cougars. Toya Val fires to the top of the screen. Oh, nice catch. That ball pulled in by Luckert. He's been the target of every play thus far.
Yeah. Really nice grab here. And Toya Val, I think he has gotten the message that a little more urgency. And not that he's been, stalling, but make good decisions, quick decisions, see good coverage there. But Luckert does a nice job of going up and getting that ball, bringing it down. And, man, they had, 2nd and 31, and now they've got themselves in a 4th and 5.
Oh, my goodness. They'll get that one back. So 4th and 5 without that timeout. By the way, Quinn Meekum was the quarterback It was going to drive me nuts until I figured that out.
Oh.
Somewhere he's probably watching this. Hopefully. I'd like to think he is. So 106 left in the half. And again, this first half is not gone the way we thought it would. You know, when we do our picks video or our schedule videos, we call it, you know, a lot of it is, hey, who we think will win? And some of it's, hey, if we don't know, might take 1-1 to see what happens. And this is the game where we talked about on the stream, or on the video, didn't have a good read on it.
Yeah.
How good was Kearns versus Box Elder? How much, and I talked about on the video, is it a difference for Almavai in this offense that you're trying to bat off a 95, 96 mile an hour fastball, and now this week, no offense to Kearns, maybe be hitting the ball at 89, 90. That's a big difference, and I think we've seen that today.
Well, I think for me, you know, seeing the way that Kearns ran the football in week 1 and having expectations of them being able to do that, and, you know, maybe for me thinking of, well, Lone Peak was able to move the ball at will and not quite knowing if that was validation of Lone Peak or maybe some questions with Timpview. And I think it's some validation of Lone Peak because the way that this Timpview defense has played today doesn't look anything like last week. And, you know, that's a good thing for Timpview, and today it's a bad thing for Kearns.
Absolutely, and it's Lucker able to get the first down on the 4th and 5. So it's 1st and 10. Cougars, you see the clock rolling, 55 seconds and counting. Left in the half. Oh, that ball just mishandled.
Left.
And it'll be scooped up by Timpview. Big man with football. Inside the 20. Inside the 15. He's walking in the house. You're not stopping Merrick Matina. 6'1", 350, and a whole bunch of fun.
Oh, my goodness. Dusty, you love seeing the big man rumble. Just another snap issue here, and it looks like they have an opportunity to get on top of it, but that ball is just left. You see it squirt out, and how about 70? Molina has a beat on it. Needs some help. Lehigh trying to track him down, but you are not bringing down Big Matina, and I love, look, it's going to be a penalty. Who cares? I love the bench celebration
100%.
for the big man.
That's awesome. Hashtag rewind 5. You know that is in there.
It better be.
Oh, it's
If
definitely
not,
there.
Preston is fired. and now the kicker is, he's got to come in and pass block on special teams, or kick block, I should say. He just rumbled 50 yards. You can see everyone still giving 70. A little pat here saying, "Atta kid."
The amazing thing is that millionaires get an oxygen tank. The high school kids, stay in there. Bend over and block now.
If nothing else, the penalty is probably a good thing to give him a chance to get his hair, right?
100%. His old teammate about knocked him over. Merrick Matina with the moment
love it.
of the day.
Love it. How about the response of the crowd, too? They wanted it.
I mean, it's just so rare, and especially the biggest guy gets the ball. And then, hey, I love the official. I always talk about home plate umpires taking care of catchers. White hat, they said, hey, take care of the quarterback. No, take care of the big guy that just scored.
Right.
Let's have a couple more conversations. Give him a
Coach, are you sure you don't have a question?
Oh, that's awesome. Jacob Larson on for the point after. And the point after is good. 38 seconds left in the half. Merrick Matina, the scoop and score. It's all Timpview leading 34-0. You're watching the Corner Canyon Classic on Game Night Live Rewind. And welcome back. I'm still trying to catch my breath. Me and Merrick Matina both. But unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Timpview for the celebration. That's okay. As that kick will be taken at the 10-yard line. Trying to find a seam. Oh, it's popped on the return was Dominic Thornton, and on the stop for Timpview was Ephraim Moavesi. So 31 seconds left in the half, and again, a half that Kearns can learn from, will learn from, but this is film you almost just throw away.
Yeah, I mean, an opportunity to go get reps, which you'll always take. You know, we talked about it a little bit in the first game. Brighton, there was a little bit of some days are just not your day.
Yep.
And for Kearns, the way this game started and now what they're having to respond with, some days are just not your day. And that's been today here for Kearns.
And going to start on the ground. And again, as we've said a lot today, not a lot there, as it is I believe Feely once again with the stop. And that might be the last play of the half.
Yeah, he's just been such a beast today. Number 8 has lived in the backfield of Kearns and been a big disruptor for this Timpview defense.
And that will be the final play of the first half, and a half that was dominated, owned, and written by the Timpview T-Birds. At the end of 2 quarters, it is Timpview leading Kearns 34-0. We'll step aside. We'll be back with second half action. You are watching the Corner Canyon Classic on Game Night Live Rewind on KSLSports.com. Oh, we needed just a second, too. The ball comes off the tee. Dusty Litster, Dane Stewart with you. Start of the second half. And first half was all Timpview. And, fortunately or unfortunately for Kearns, there's not the clock will not continue to run, at least for another score. At that point, the clock will continue to run until the score comes within, 14 points.
Yeah.
So the chance to see this Kearns offense in the second half, they came out very late. Obviously, Coach Rickards had plenty of things and material to talk to his guys about. And usually it's the how much pride do you have conversation. And so it'll be very interesting to see this team coming out of the locker room.
Yeah, it will. And you're right, Dusty. Look, game's not over, right? And sometimes in life things don't go the way you want, and you got to battle through those. And this is now a battle through moment for Kearns. And you can go out, you can win the third quarter, you can win the second half. Game's probably out of the question, but an opportunity to go and still compete and try to get better.
Going to fire to the outside, and that catch is made. Yes, they're going to call it a catch at 26-yard line. On the reception for Kearns was number 84, Cody Barrett, as Osifa Toyaval took another one in the chops.
Yeah, he just they ruled it incomplete now.
Interesting. We had two officials say catch.
Yeah, but to your point, I'll tell you, someone get the ice bath ready in Kearns now. It's going to be a much needed for Toyaval. He has just been pounded today repetitively by this Timpview D.
A quick throw out to Naki Leha. Naki not going anywhere. Braxton Feely, along with Hezekiah Ambrosio, able to get there and get on top of Naki Leha.
That's the incredible thing is the speed at which Feely gets there. That's a simple flare out to your back, who's one of the best backs in the state, and he's caught up to from behind. And it's a big loss on the play, and now you've got an injury here.
It's Naki Leha.
Oh, boy.
Well, Naki couldn't get to the sideline. I don't know if what happened there. We'll step aside as they attend to Naki Leha. You're watching the Corner Canyon Classic on Game Night Live Rewind. So Naki comes off the field and is able to get up on his own power and get to the bench. So we'll watch where they check him out. So it's third down and long for Kearns. Going to fire over the middle. Intercepted. Picked off and returned for a touchdown. The second defensive touchdown of the day. Taylor Mallow with the pick six.
Well, this is one where Taylor's just hanging out, and Toyaval doesn't see him. An athletic grab by Mallow to leap up and secure it. But you're so deep in your own end, there's very little chance you're going to catch Taylor Mallow. And now it is over that threshold, 40-0.
Yeah, the continuous clock will begin for the start of the next possession. So on comes Larson for the point after. Oh, and a bad snap.
Not the first time we've said those words today.
Have not. It is not. Or is not. Oh, my goodness. Hey, let's take a quick break, shall we? We have said touchdown Timpview defensively a couple times today, but you're watching the Corner Canyon Classic on Game Night Live Rewind. So welcome back to Corner Canyon. Dusty Lister and Dane Stewart of Game Night Live Rewind. Larson will kick it away and put it through the end zone. Again, a reminder, we got our videos coming out this weekend. We're going to be talking about week 2. Also have our schedule video and our game of the week announcement. We'll give you a little sneak peek and a little cheat code. We'll be Mountain Ridge, well, I shouldn't say we. Dane and Moose Bingham most likely will be at Mountain Ridge at Wasatch.
Sign me up. Excited for that one, Dusty. You know, Mountain Ridge, just a couple years into this thing, Coach Mayfu, what a job he has done laying a foundation there. And, you know, then you look at Wasatch and a team that I think probably the favorite in Region 9. And, you know, going to get to see Darius Edwards and that offense. Cannot wait. Should be an absolute doozy.
So back the ground game with Kearns, and man alive. There's orange jerseys playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage, as that is a very minimal gain. And on the carry for Kearns his first time tonight, Kaimani Fawatea. And it could be in relation to Lorenzo Fawatea.
He comes off here. Looks like Lehigh. I can't tell if that's Naki or not.
It's not. I believe in the backfield now is Connor Aldridge. And that catch is not made in now. Yep, you're going to have a 15-yard penalty here on Timpview. Just could not hold up on that hit. It'll be a penalty on the T-Birds.
You know, this Kearns program, Dusty, Coach Rickards has done such a great job of bringing this program from a really tough spot into making it now competitive. I know people here are like, this isn't competitive. I mean, this Kearns program, Dusty, has won at least 8 games every year since 2015.
Mercy. And before 2015, the only time they'd won 8 games, back to 1950?
93, they won 10.
I mean, 25 years.
Yeah, and to do that consistently over a span of the last, 7 is really impressive.
Toivow just couldn't quite decide when to pitch that or to keep it. Nice job by Timpview stringing that out. In a game and in a time of football where you don't have a lot of option responsibility like that, I'm actually very impressed with the outside leverage there by the T-Birds.
Yeah. Just going back to that, they've also made the playoffs 6 straight years. Would have the last 2. I know people are going to be like, well, everyone makes it. Yeah, well, before that, they made it 6 straight years, had never done that in school history. So, I mean, he has done such a great job here and regarded as one of the best coaches around. This is not your typical Kearns performance. And some of it has just been, Timpview has been dialed in from the get-go here today.
They absolutely have. And, we talked about this note quite a bit, but last year they scored 84 points in one game. 2005, they didn't score 84 points.
Right.
In 2005, they did not score 84 points. I mean, that's just unreal.
They also put up 65 against a region team. I mean, this program is on its best footing it's probably ever been. And a lot of that credit goes to Coach Rickards and the culture that he's established here with his players. And you can go back and think about some of the young men that we've covered in years past, Dusty. This is, becoming a running back high school.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you're sending guys D1 every couple of years. It's who's that next back that's going to be coming on for Kearns that you're going to see, high-profile recruiting and highlights and and have those opportunities, and that's the stability that Coach Rickards and this staff have brought.
Yeah, think about it. I mean, the Amone, or Finau, sorry.
Yep.
Moni Finau and others, and then Falila. And
yeah, pair of Falilas, right?
Yeah, pair of Falilas, and then you had, just so many good backs, and now Naki Lehigh just kind of goes right in that. And most of them got thrown in as sophomores because upperclassmen had gotten hurt, and which was the case for Falila because Finau got hurt earlier in the year, his senior year, and so that thrust Falila in there, and then had to make. He had a great year. He had a great career at Kearns. Went down to Southern Utah. Was our very first 6A Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
my favorite award we've ever given out.
And I missed that because I got in a car accident.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
Mr. Kearns was not there for the award.
The best part about that is that he didn't understand why he was there, and we played the whole thing. We didn't want them knowing they got an award.
Yeah.
So, hey, we got something we want to go through. We're doing a video. I remember handing it to him, and he couldn't do the interview. And I remember talking to him after, and his parents didn't even understand. They're like, wait, he really got an award? I'll just never forget that. It's my favorite award we've given out. As kick is away and taken inside the 25-yard line. One nice move, and Ambrosio across the 35-yard line to the 36, 37. And that was a year where Cameron Cooper won our Player of the Year.
Yep.
Zach Wilson won the Offensive Player of the Year. And, actually, I think him unheralded, right? Falila, we gave him unheralded?
We might. No, I thought it was offensive.
He might have been 6A
Corner
offensive.
Canyon was 5A.
Yeah, it was 6A offensive, right?
Yeah.
So first drive of the second half, and I don't know if we'll see Almavai here in the second half. Isaiah Vea came in the Wildcat.
Yeah, I would not, right? An opportunity for you to give some of your youngsters some snaps, and you don't want to risk injury. I think Amavai is really important for this Timpview offense. And, you look at what's coming up for them, Dusty, next week. The T-Birds.
And here's a ball up the sideline. This is Micah Beckstead. Touchdown, Timpview. Micah Beckstead on the catch and run.
We've got a flag somewhere. It might be a sideline warning.
It could be a sideline warning. It's thrown right at the 40-yard line, near the line of scrimmage. And Coach Stokes is saying, bring it back.
And I tried to just shut my mouth so that Micah Beckstead could do the talking, but next week they go to Crimson Cliffs, having to travel down south, Timpview does. And that's a good defense that the Mustangs have this year. Returned a lot of key contributors from last year. And had a nice win at Spanish Fork this last week. Crimson Cliffs did. And so, I feel like as good as this Timpview team is, they want Amavai. They need Amavai. They'll have Bingham after that, Skyridge after that. They got some big games coming up.
Yeah.
You want 4 to stay healthy. So right now, hey, get your backups in. Allow them some reps. And, live to play next week.
Well, think about this. You go down to Crimson Cliffs, come back, play Bingham the week after they play. Corner Canyon is Vea, bad snap, and Vea has it and is dropped in the backfield. And making the tackle was Trace Swanigan. And he's a basketball player. Swanigan, right? There was a Swanigan on the team a year ago.
For Timpview?
No, for Kearns.
Yes. Sorry,
Yeah.
I got my wires crossed.
Yeah, Swanigan had that, yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
But they take on Bingham the week after they take on Corner Canyon, then Skyridge. Wow. Then they go Alta in region, then Highland out of region as they go deep looking for his man, making the grab inside the 45-yard line. And as a Timpview first down, it's Jackson Allred pulling that one in.
Backup quarterback? What are you talking about? How about this throw from Vea? Nice job. As you see, he just lets this ball just drop right over the top on the money. First down, Timpview.
Ambrosio on the fly sweep. Nice run fit there by Kearns. And a short gain, and on the stop for the Cougars is Dominic Thornton. But they go out of region against Highland and in region back against Orem, rematch the last two 5A state championships in Lehigh and Jordan. I mean, that's a good schedule.
It is a good schedule. It feels weird to only have 4 region games, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's reminiscent when we first came into covering the state. There's Vea on the zone read.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it myself. Not the zone read, but the 14 regions and 5 regions in classification and 2 in another. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
I got into a bit of a Twitter thing. It was a positive Twitter thing. Rural Sports Utah.
Does such exist?
It actually was a really good one.
Oh, good.
He put out how should they do alignments, and it had should you use school enrollment or should you use success. My answer has been, and as you know, forever, my stance has been success, enrollment, and
participation. Yep.
And a blended thing, I think, helps a ton. And a ton. Now, there's other parts that go into about travel and other things like that. However, to have 4A be Cache Valley and Utah or in Washington County,
what are we doing?
Yeah, simply isolating 2 areas where 5A doesn't want to go.
Right.
Because of what?
Yeah. Well, and my thing is that we've increased the speed limit, so it takes less time to get there. I mean, we're making progress here. No. Yeah.
I mean, if the Boring Company would just get the tunnels built faster, inside the 15-yard line, diving toward the 10, down the 11, actually, it'll be 1st and 10 T-Birds at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it. And I think there's a lot of rumblings out there. The current model right now tries to accommodate for participation, but it doesn't do it with participation. It does it with another metric that I don't think is really indicative, but it's kind of the substitute, and it's just kind of clunky right now. Yeah. I think that there's some ways that you could simplify that. The problem is that you're trying to create a model that's adaptable for all sports, and yet your participation is not consistent across
all sports.
There are issues even with participation, but I don't feel like it's worse than what we have right now.
Right.
And so it's like, hey, why don't we try that, right? We're trying RPI. We're trying why don't we try that and see if that helps to even some things out? For me, it's like the reality is there are certain programs that if you just go based off of enrollment, and even if you take in, some socioeconomic factors, you're just not putting those teams in a situation where they can rebuild.
Right.
And so it's you almost feed the monster that keeps it with where it's at.
Well, that's why Kearns is kind of the miracle school in the state. Because you went from not a great footing to building a great footing. And that just hasn't happened. The last city state championship, when I mean this, is what you consider Salt Lake City in the largest classification. Hunter in 04.
Yeah. Yeah. And the reality is, you think about some of the great players that have come out of this state, a lot of them are Kearns kids. What Rickards has done at Kearns is he started to keep kids home.
Right.
15 years ago, Bass is going somewhere else.
Right. There we go, fly sweep, and it's going to be a Timpview touchdown as into the end zone goes Zed Ambrosio, the freshman wide receiver / jet sweep guy. Gets into the end zone with 54 seconds left in the third.
I have not seen JSG on a roster, but I'm going to start looking for the jet sweep guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Cook did it all the way to I'm trying to remember the young man that was at Oregon State that kind of started this whole thing. It was the brothers. Played in the NFL for a long time with the Falcons. Blanking on names. His kick is up, and it is good. 51.9 left in the third. It is all Timpview here. You're watching a Game Night Live Rewind Game of the Week. And welcome back, Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart. As the continual clock has already started. And it'll be taken by Kearns inside the 5-yard line. This is Thornton once again, and Thornton gets out across the 30-yard line where he's dropped there. On the stop for Timpview was Ephraim Moavasi. And it'll be Kearns ball at the 31-yard line.
You know, you have to go back. We talk about this Kearns program. You have to go back to 2014, which I think was the year before Rickards got here, maybe his first year. That was the last time that they had a score like this. They had 4 shutouts that year. Every one of them was 34 or more. Highland scored 41, Bountiful 42, Woods Cross 50. That's a long time since Kearns has been in this kind of a game.
You know, an amazing thing about it, if I remember the alignment correctly anyway, part of the building at Kearns was the drop to 5A. As nice, or pardon me, even 4A, before 5A, it was a drop to 4A.
Yeah.
As that's the end of the third quarter. And we'll talk more about that because, again, our score right now, it is all Timpview leading 47-0 over Kearns. You're watching the Corner Canyon Classic on Game Night Live Rewind. So start of the fourth quarter, Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart. With you, 2nd down and 6. The ball, nice adjustment. Oh, he just didn't pull it in. Everything was there to make that a highlight reel grab by Isaac Luckert. Made a great move on the ball in the air, but couldn't pull it in.
Yeah, he's a little slow to get up as the Timpview defender came down on him. I think it was Malu Keo, a senior, who was sizing that one up. And you're right, Luckert made a great adjustment to come underneath that. But he is down and going to be looked at.
Welcome back to Corner Canyon. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart. We're hoping Isaac Luckert is okay. They had to carry him off the field.
They did set him down on the sideline. He was walking, although was certainly limping, but I hope that he's all right.
Yeah, that pass falls incomplete in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, and we'll see if they stay out there, and I believe they will. No reason not to. Clock will continue to run no matter what. Cody Barrett can pull that one in. But it'll be 4th down. Yeah, they will punt it away. Because here, Coach Rickers, I'm just going to hand him something.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I'll tell you this. I expected Kearns to compete better in this contest. There were a lot of reasons why this game is in the situation that it is. But you look at this Region 2, Dusty, and West, you know, Coach Solovey, what he's building there. You look at, what a bounce.
What a bounce. That's going
to help the average.
That's a 20-yard punt with a 40-yard roll.
Yeah. But you look at Kearns, you look at West, and now you add Roy into that region as well.
Right. You forget about that.
You've got some actually really fun matchups coming, I think, in Region 2 this year.
Right.
It is not, it's Region 2. I don't think that exists this year.
Yeah. On paper, it'd be really, really good.
Yeah.
And so back to the alignment part. And the answer we get, and again, we're very close to Rob Cuff and others at the Activity Association. It's not a knock, and it's not even a criticism. Who always tell us, hey, there's 51 associations in the country, and there's 51 different ways that everyone handles alignments. And I just think there's a way to do it. There's a hybrid to figure out, to allow schools, positions to rebuild themselves, kind of like relegation and promotion.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many fans now, Ted Lasso like myself, and you learn more about promotion and relegation. How do you do it? There's ways to doing that, to allow schools to rebuild their program.
Yeah.
And not have to do it with playing against, like what helped Kearns was not being in the region with Bingham. But they kept having to go against Bingham and get Binghamed every time they played them, and allowed them to rebuild. And when they came back up, again, still not in that region because economically it doesn't make sense to put them in that region.
Right. Well, and I mean, you can look at a lot of different aspects of that, and Kearns is one of them. But I mean, it's like Taylorsville. Look, Taylorsville was in a tough competitive situation for a long time.
Yeah.
And then they had a short window of a couple years where they were competing in their region, and things have changed at Taylorsville, and now it is tough sledding at Taylorsville. You look at a Jordan, right?
Cottonwood.
You look at some of these schools where the Highland now is in that battle, where you have numbers that are depleting. You have not a lot of way to build those numbers, and yet from an enrollment perspective, well, you're just as big as they are, so here you go. And it's like, well, how do you expect a Jordan to get back? Or how do you expect a Cottonwood to get back? Or how do you expect, it is tough to go just based off of enrollment, especially when that's not really the indication of what you're actually going to do.
Right.
So I would love to see participation. I think that makes a ton of sense. I think every coach could tell you, if you gave them notification, hey, this year we want to measure how many kids you had come out for tryouts, I think every coach would be able to give you that number.
Well, I had a coach reach out and said, hey, look, there's registered my athlete. It's an official number.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Yeah.
And the hard part is, and it's the fight in Utah, which is very unique. I don't want to say overly unique to anywhere else, is you have metro versus rural, and a lot of the rural areas will tell you, well, we've been able to do X, Y, and Z, and we've moved classifications, we've had success. Sorry. I'm a rural kid. I grew up in rural Utah. Transfers and everything else is not in existence. If you want to go from Carbon to another high school, it's Emory. That's your closest high school.
Yeah.
When you are at Jordan, you have Alta, you have Brighton, Bingham, and Corner Canyon within a 5-mile radius. It's just a different world.
Yeah.
And if you're going to help these schools come back and build good programs and give places where kids are in a competitive situation, there's a new way of doing it. And there's got to be a way to help these schools come back.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree at all. And I think the other aspect of that is, in a world with transfers, how do you ever kill the pipeline to some of these schools?
Right. And Vea, I don't know if he mishandled the goal on the replay here. Vea just mishandled that snap. But Vea picks up the first down on the punt. And possession will remain with Timpview. Part wasn't even Vea. That was
Alatini.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can look at some of the powers that we've had in the state of Utah, and you know, I'm not going to go into names and specifics, but you talk about some of the schools, Kearns, that lost kids for so many years.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people said, hey, you go back to the 90s, and there was a certain dominative team on the east side of the valley, and if those kids stayed home, it would be Cypress with state championships.
Right. Ball's out. And I believe that's recovered by Kearns.
And so the thing is, it's like, well, if you don't allow a Cypress to drop and be more competitive with the players that are in that program at that time, how do you ever disrupt the pipeline of the Skyline that is
right
having all these kids come in? And that's not a knock on Skyline or Coach Dupé or anything. They had great success,
yeah.
and they lived within the rules. And
the rules are rule. And
it is what it was,
yeah.
right? And there are schools right now that are doing the same thing, and that's not to knock any of them. It's within the rules, and that's fine. But, okay, well, how do you support a Taylorsville or a Cottonwood or a Granger or all these schools to get them back? And it is what makes Kearns so special. And it's not just football. You've seen the same thing in basketball.
Yep.
You've seen it in other sports as well, where they are committed to building their athletic programs, and you're starting to see them get to a point where you walk into a game against Timpview, you don't quite know how that game might go. Right? Kearns hang.
The biggest, one of the toughest things of the football season a year ago, I mean, this is side of injuries and things that are real life, was that Kearns did not get to play East in the state tournament. That Kearns team a year ago was very, 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 very good. And just to get the measuring stick of how good was what we were all wanting, right? Because the biggest game we got to see they actually lost was to West. And it was, okay, can you bounce back from that?
Yeah.
And you'd have essentially the duplicate of East is West with offense and everything else. But how to handle that? I mean, you get a chance to see it. We've been in the biggest game this side of the state championship game in 1989 for Kearns football.
Yep.
So, all right, we'll try to get off that soapbox. But when we have a game where we have it at the moment, it's kind of where we live. Is going to keep it on the ground here with Kearns after the turnover. And a nice job by this Timpview defense to be able to corral him. And on the stop for the T-Birds is Paka Haunga, not to be confused with Pokai Haunga.
Yeah. Well, we might get into, we were having a conversation, you know, part of what we like to do is to try to promote athletes and social media and whatnot, and we're talking about some of the Haungas that are out there, and actually kind of trying to highlight Pokai last week and connect to the wrong one, and when you have Pokai and Paka, and sometimes on social media it's not always the easiest to tell them apart.
Well, Vince said that there's multiple Pokai Haungas that play for orange football teams.
Yeah.
That wear orange jerseys.
Yeah. So we appreciate patience when we get stuff like that wrong and miss.
Hey, if you see we tagged the wrong one, just hit us up. It's not as easy as you might think. The video's coming out. We'll have our top 5 plays and performances. You know, we've already sent this out. Merrick Matini will be on the top 5 plays. And how about this? A scramble to get away and heading inside the 15-yard line is Osefa Toival. As he has run for his life, and that time he's able to keep it and find it, and it's a first down.
That might be the biggest play of the day for Kearns. I'm trying to think if they had one that was bigger.
I think it is the biggest play.
I think it is. And finally you see
play,
that athleticism where he was able to get some escapability. You've got some depth in there for Timpview, but good to see Toyev out there find some success.
Toyeval went right back into the rush. If you reverse your field, when you feel that, you're walking right into a sack, and luckily he held on to the football as Brigham Kimball able to get in there and get the sack. But Coach Stokes, you got to feel much better after this week than last week. Coach Arnold, who we got to meet and talk to, has got to feel much better this week than last week.
One of the interesting things, I don't remember if we talked about this on the stream or if we talked about it off air, but Coach Stokes talked about how impressed he was with his team physically last week against Lone Peak. I think that's been on display. Timpview Orem, sign me up. And I know that Orem's like, yeah, you've said that for a couple years now, and I have. But this is going to be a fun game.
Yes. And the funny thing is, it was on the other foot not that long ago.
Right.
She was on the other foot, in the very recent future, or recent past, pardon me, she was on the other foot.
Yep.
And that's what's so fun about it. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I talked to Coach Stokes about it. He said, look, we all know each other. He's like, all those kids, they're all family, they're friends, they go to church together, all these different things. He's like, they hang out together. He's like, that's a special game. He's like, it's a different kind of game because you're playing family. And, yeah, can't wait for that one.
Yeah.
And you get it twice. We'll get in the regular season.
Will.
Somewhere we're going to get it in the postseason.
You probably will.
Yeah.
I mean,
if it's
I'm
not the
thinking,
semifinals. Well, if it's not the championship, it's the semifinals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about 5A right now, and who is there in 5A? There's Orem.
Yep.
There's Timpview.
East.
There's East. Maybe Brighton.
We'll see what Brighton comes back with.
I mean, based on what we
right?
saw this morning, it's like there's some work for Brighton to do to get to that level. Oh, goodness.
That was a.
That's why you play to the whistle, man.
That was a quagmire from the beginning.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If one guy's going to. Hey, here's a football saying that gets used a ton. Either the hammer or the nail. You rarely want to be the nail.
Yeah.
I've been the nail before. I'd much rather be the hammer.
Timpview's been the hammer all game.
Absolutely. From Jump Street. And I don't know if there's a frustration that they might have thought there was a whistle blown. The way that Kearns is reacting makes
They're
you
not
think
happy. Yeah.
that there may have been. But
Well, I don't know if it was something after the play because it looked like they had to separate some players afterward, and I don't know if it was about that.
Now, let's say this. This has been a very clean game. Now, I mean, because usually a lopsided game doesn't mean it's going to be clean.
Yeah.
Usually someone takes frustrations out. We haven't seen that.
Have not.
But Coach Rickards is still frustrated on the sideline as Vea's pass is caught by Ambrosio, and he's escorted out of bounds. That's Parker Hansen with the stop. Yeah, 5A. Lehigh's another one. Like, how good will Lehigh be by the end of the year?
Wasatch is there, too.
Wasatch,
I'm excited to see them.
Park City.
Yeah.
So a little deeper roster than you would initially off of first half. That's why I'm so frustrated that Zach Dart is hurt and not playing, because I really think Spanish Fork would have been there.
They would have been there.
And it's not that they can't get there, but Zach Dart
changes that team.
It's quite a drop-off.
Yeah.
From Zach Dart to your backup. And even though they're 1-1 and they were competitive last night, it's a different world that they live in.
Well, I was joking a little bit with Coach Smith, and I was like, do you still have eligibility? I mean, it's just there are not a lot of Zach Darts out there.
Yeah.
And when you have a player of that talent miss your season, it's going to change, the ceiling for your team and, opportunity for young men to step up. But it's a big step.
Mm-hmm.
Big step.
And going to throw. And now going to tuck and run. This is Khalil Graham, the junior quarterback. And
how about this escapability?
Yeah, Khalil Graham thinks he's Steve Young
hit stick
against the Vikings in 1987. Look at that.
He ran
Get him the Burger King Get him the Burger King commercial.
middle, the sideline, to other sideline, and we're stiff arming and lowering pads, and what a run.
There's something about a left-handed quarterback. He just feels right when they take off. So Riley Nelson do that for Logan.
Yeah, he needs to just complete that number, just that bottom left portion, right? Just pull that down a little bit. And
it's a rite of passage, man. Just flips it out here.
You don't just give that. You got to earn it.
And how about Ambrosio making moves? And Ambrosio up the sideline. And Ambrosio in the end zone. Touchdown. Timpview. The freshman wide receiver has one on the ground. Now through the air.
Talked about Ambrosio week 1. Had some nice plays. And, boy, you see the freshman turning on the Jets. And this is one where it's like as soon as he hits that corner, Uh-oh. And he is gone. Zed finding his zen in the end zone.
Nice.
You like that?
That was well done.
Yeah.
Well played. And that could and probably will be the final play. Might have one more after the kickoff. And the kick is up. And it is good. So 23 seconds left here. It's a 54-0 lead for Timpview. You're watching the Corner Canyon Classic on Game Night Live Rewind. So the clock's already started, and this will most likely be
They actually
the
don't
final.
have to kick it if they don't want to.
Yep. But Kearns will get a chance at a return here. It'll be Thornton once again on the return. And Thornton out across midfield, and that's how this one will end. Timpview bounces back after week one in a big way with a 54-0 win over Kearns. Dane, your final thoughts on the selection of a player of the game?
Well, I was really excited for this game, Dusty, but I think early on, Timpview just sent notice this is not going to be an interesting game. The physicality was there. I thought they flew around. The thing I loved, and you talked a little bit about it, it was a physical game for Timpview. We did not see emotion come into it. It was a very even-keeled, take care of business, let's get out and move on. So many guys we could talk about. We could talk about that defensive front. We could talk about the offense. I did think Amavai had a good game today. The running game was stellar. It got things off on the right foot. I'm going to go with two guys as my players of the game. The first one, memory, I just
Micah
lost where I was
Beckstead?
going to go with that. Nope, I was going to go
Esplin?
somewhere else. But that's okay. Braxton Feely. That's where I was going to go. Braxton Feely is my first one. And for my offensive, well, it wasn't an offensive play, but how could you leave Matina out of it? It's going to be one of the best moments of that young man's high school career. And honestly, like one of the coolest moments for us this season. So we're going with Braxton Feely today. He was all over defensively, really led that defensive front. And then Matina with the big scoop and score for Timpview.
That was the moment of the day. Vince Francis said it was the best call I've had. So put that feather in my cap.
There you go.
So our final score, again, Timpview 54, Kearns 0. Again, the third and final game of the triple header of the Corner Canyon Classic coming up in just about an hour and a half. Rob Gertz will have that call. This is a rematch of the 6A semifinals, East and Corner Canyon. Again, our final score, Timpview 54, Kearns 0. For Vince Francis and Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and for watching Game Night Live's Rewind's coverage of the 2021